Boston Celtics dominate the Utah Jazz from start to finish. Who saw that coming? What is with this offense? How did the offense get this good? I'm going to talk about that right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Be ever ready. Recognize the city of champs. Boston, baby, we do what you can't. Locked on number 18, Tatum and Brown, J-team, step back. We gon' wet that and slay teams. Of course, the Celtics, who else could it be? Screaming like KG with the Larry O.B. Karalis above average, assessing the team status. Best daily pod, no cap, salary matching. Clutch like Bird the DJ, keep John on replay. Prime time, dapping up the truth on the sideline. Raining J's, how it started, raising banners, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners. B.
And welcome back to the show. I'm John Karalis here, Locked On Celtics host, Boston Sports Journal beat writer, author of the Boston Celtics All-Time All-Stars, a book you can get on my website, johnkaralis.com, for $30. Voter on the Boston Celtics 75th anniversary team. Blah, blah, blah. I cover the Celtics. Welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast. It's a show that's free daily everywhere you get your podcast. Please make it your first listen every day. Would love to get you watching the show on YouTube as well. Boston Celtics 125-97 win over the Utah Jazz. 125-97. The offense is humming. The offense is the best offense in the NBA since the All-Star break. This was not supposed to be a good offensive team. How the hell did this happen? Going to talk about that in the third segment. I'm going to save the second segment for some more individual performances. Lot of great individual performances. I'm going to try to give everybody their due in that second segment. But let's just bask in the glow of this win, because this was an utter, complete domination from start to finish. And when I say from start to finish, literally start to finish, the Celtics barely even let go of the rope. There was hardly a blip in this game. Minus like the beginning of the third quarter, the Celtics, they didn't even give up a run. It was just sort of starting to get a little sloppy. I think it was maybe like 10-7 Utah or something like it was something kind of almost benign. But aside from that, and the Celtics, clearly they just recovered right away. The Celtics from jump had this thing in hand. They didn't miss a shot for the first 8 minutes of this game. They missed their first shot at the 4:05 mark of the first quarter. They were 10 for 10, 6 of 6 from three. They just came out. It's almost as if they said, hey, Utah, remember that game in Utah where you guys just hit everything at a ridiculous rate? We're going to show you how that felt. They came out and just Jayson Tatum hit his first three. He stepped into a three, hit it, and gave that three-pointer, the kiss to the crowd. He did it 3 separate times in the first quarter. You knew right away that he was feeling it when he did that move. And the Celtics just never looked back. Let's just look at this. 26 points. His streak of 30 points on less than 20 shots per game was broken because he didn't play in the fourth quarter. He only played 28 and a half minutes. He still had 26 points on 9 of 15 shooting. I guess he should have hit a couple more shots, but this close to being one of 6 players to do that. Now that's gone. He had 26. Jaylen Brown had 26 on 10 of 17 shooting. This offense is humming. And again, I'll get to that in the third segment, but this offense is humming because Tatum and Brown are finally humming together. They are going off at the same time. And I looked up the numbers here. Over the past 5 games, Jayson Tatum is averaging 30 points, 59% shooting, 55.3% from three, 96.3% from the line over the last 5 games. A true shooting percentage of 79%, which is an insane number. True shooting takes into account field goals, 3-pointers, free throws. Jaylen Brown, 5 games, 27.4 points on 55.3% shooting, 43.3% from three, 71.5% from the line. His true shooting is like 64.5. That's kind of like Steph Curry range. So Jaylen Brown is on fire over the past 5 games. Jayson Tatum is fire over the past 5 games. And when those two are connecting, you've got an offense that is just out of this world. The vibes in that building, the vibes afterwards, we talk about vibes, immaculate, incredible. What other words do you want to use? Tell me what words you want to use. It's funny. I'm going to let you behind the scenes a little bit. So we've had a lot of kind of, I don't want to say adversarial media sessions, but the beginning of this year, November, December, the guys probably didn't like us very much. They very much had negative thoughts towards the media, let's say. They were not happy. They came out of media sessions feeling just like grumpy, to use a very PG term. They were pissed at us. They didn't like us. In this one, so I'll set it up by saying after the game, what we do normally is the guys, Ime speaks, everybody speaks, and all the beat writers in there, we kind of split up the transcription. So because we're all using this stuff, it's basically publicly available information from these guys. So we split it up and we all take our turns transcribing little bits of it. We share it with each other, makes the night go very, very much quicker. So I took a piece of Ime Udoka. I'm like, go to the other room, the media room. I'm type. I look over and I see the door is closed. Oh no, that means a player's in there. I walk in, Marcus Smart is talking. I don't realize how much time has been passed since Marcus Smart started talking. So Abby Chin is up there asking a question. Abby usually goes first. So I assume I got in there at like the beginning or near the beginning. So Abby asks her questions, and then I get up, I go second, and I start asking questions. And I ask a question about Deuce, Jayson Tatum's son. He's on the sidelines. Smart was inbounding the ball. Deuce was kind of like slapping him on the ass. It was a funny moment. I wanted to ask him about it. He gave me a really nice answer, and I didn't think anything of it until afterwards. People were busting my chops because Adam Himmelsbach of the Boston Globe had asked the same question like 2 minutes earlier, but I didn't realize that he had gone first. So anyway, that's the setup. Jaylen Brown sits down. I'm there at the beginning. Abby Chin starts busting my chops, saying, go first so you don't miss anything. Like people are ribbing me a little bit. Whatever. It's fine. We're busting each other's balls. It's fine. Jaylen is like looking around, kind of like, what's going on here? We explain to him what's going on. It's a jovial atmosphere. I'm asking him questions. He's kind of shooting back at me. He talks about he knew the energy was going to shift. And that energy shift was like the tweet that he sent out. No, he said that wasn't about basketball. So now Abby is talking to him about the energy. What does that mean? He gives this big horoscope answer. He's trying to explain to the media what retrograde means. I have no damn clue. The entire thing, the entire media session devolves into Jaylen Brown trying to explain retrograde to everybody. It was fun. It was kind of like irreverent. It was just unlike anything we've been through. Like a bunch of the reporters, like, what is going on here? What a weird night. That type of vibe is what was going on behind the scenes in the media room. That's how much fun these guys are having. So this game, they just came out and laid waste to the Utah Jazz. And afterwards, Jaylen was like, yeah, we're just having fun. Winning is fun. Everything that we worked on, this is like the culmination of it. This game, this performance, this is just people are playing free. Ime Udoka said it after the game. We're playing free. We're having a good time. Like, and it's everything. Like, if you take all of that, the quotes from what they were saying, I've said all of that stuff in bits and pieces. Playing free is so fun, but what you might not understand if you have never played basketball. This concept of playing free, when you're not even thinking about stuff, when you know, play a certain way, this is how we're doing it. I'm getting double. I'm giving the ball up. That ball is going to move. We're going to cut. We're going to get baskets. It's all cool. We're not worried about anything anymore. We're not thinking about anything anymore. We're just going out there and we're playing. We see what's in front of us. We react to it. That is great basketball. It lends itself to great basketball because when you're playing free and you're not thinking, you're just free to do and react. And I've said it a million times. I'll say it again. Thinking on the floor is going to slow you down. It's going to be a killer. Now, obviously, when you're bringing the ball up, you see things in front of you and you're thinking some things, but you're basically just scanning like a robot. You're just looking across and you're picking people up. And you say, okay, this is happening. And then when somebody makes a move, you react. You know, when it's very similar when if you've ever trained a dog and you make like a motion, put your hand up motion, and that triggers the dog to sit. The dog is not thinking, it's just reacting. I see this. This is what I do. You make this motion, I do this, and I get rewarded for it. Every animal is prone to that sort of like training, that behavior, that muscle memory. Human beings, we're all the same thing, same concept. See a guy do this, boom, you do that. See a guy's head turn, boom, backdoor cut. Daniel Tice, backdoor cut. Hit him with that little bounce pass, boom, that's a dunk. That kind of stuff has been happening all day long now for the Celtics. Every single game, they're jumping on teams. They're crushing team spirit right away. They got up by 20 again for the 5th straight game. This is their 5th straight win. They're 10-1 in March. And on top of it all, Miami lost. And not only did Miami lose, Miami lost. What is with you, John? Can you learn how to speak? Not only did Miami lose, they went at each other's throat. Udonis Haslem was threatening to kick Jimmy Butler's ass. Eric Spoelstra was in the middle of it. It was a real mess. That is, you talk about bad vibes. Vibes are not great in Miami right now. Celtics are 1.5 games behind the Miami Heat after they lose. Boston wins, and there's still one game to play between Boston and Miami. We just did a podcast where I said, I think they're going to finish 4th. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Jaylen was asked about being a game and a half out of first, and he just started to laugh. It's like he broke character. He started laughing. He's having this reaction that I'm having right now. Like, can you believe it? I can't believe it. Can you? I don't know what's going on here. He really it's the most relaxed I've ever seen Jaylen Brown in front of the media. Like, he was just kind of like looking around, joking. He was making us laugh. It was almost like he started to do comedy bits by the end of it. I don't know, man. This is just a wild time for the Celtics. Wild time for Celtics fans. They've done things this season that are almost hard to comprehend, and it's wild. Again, 3rd segment, I'll get into why this offense is playing the way they're playing, and why the Celtics have the number 1 offense since the All-Star break. I'll get into individual performances in this game because I've already been yammering on for almost 15 minutes, and I barely touched some of these individual performances. So I'm going to do that when I come back. But first, let me tell you about Truebill. Truebill is the place it's the app that's going to help you identify and stop paying for subscriptions, the ones that you don't need, the ones you don't want, the ones you forgot about, free trials that you've spaced out on, all the streaming services that you subscribe to that you've forgotten about. Plug them all into Truebill, plug them into that app. You can save a bunch of money by canceling all of the things you do not want, the stuff you don't need. On average, people save about $720 a year with Truebill. And that's because companies make subscriptions hard to cancel. Truebill makes it very, very simple. You link your accounts, they cancel your unwanted subscriptions with one tap. You don't have to worry about it. There's also Truebill Concierge, where you can have them just cancel the unwanted subscriptions. They handle it so you don't have to. Very simple. 2 million users of Truebill have saved over $100 million, like Matthew B., who says in a matter of seconds, he saved $660 on his DirecTV bill, $120 on the SiriusXM bill, $840 on car insurance. That's how Truebill can help you save some money. Don't fall for the subscription scams. Cancel today at Truebill.com/LockedOnNBA. Go right now, Truebill.com/LockedOnNBA. Save you thousands a year. You can use some of that money on NBA Top Shot. NBA Top Shot, now a sponsor of the Locked On Celtics podcast. It's the officially licensed NFT of the NBA. Connect with a community of hundreds of thousands of NBA fans as a natural progression of fantasy sports. It's a way to upgrade your experience as an NBA fan. What is Top Shot? It's the number one question. People are not sure what to make of Top Shot. It's basically trading cards mixed with the stock market, mixed with fantasy sports, mixed with like an airline loyalty program for the NBA. Basically, instead of trading cards, physical trading cards that you look at and, say, oh, I got this one, and you want to trade this one, or this one's rare. They have created these NFT trading moments where you can own a moment. You can own Daniel Tice's dunk against the Utah Jazz. And depending on how many of them are made and available, you can own it and trade it and sell it just like you would any other collectible. And it's just different. It just works differently. I know you can watch them on YouTube, but it's basically the way this digital technology works, the blockchain technology. There's a rarity to it. You own a moment, and just like you would own a trading card. And look, I'm with you if you're skeptical. I understand it. It's taken me a little while to kind of understand it. But basically, if you told somebody back in 1916 that if you took a picture of somebody and plastered it on a piece of cardboard and said, here, now trade this, they think you're probably a little nuts. And so NFTs are a little bit different, and NBA Top Shot is their version of this trading collectible. So if you sign up for Top Shot today, the best way to start is by getting yourself a starter pack. You can pull an NFT of a superstar like LeBron or KD, star rookies like Cade Cunningham or Evan Mobley for just $9. If you didn't pull your favorite player from the starter pack, you can snag moments from the marketplace that appeal to you. Challenges are the best way to earn exclusive moment NFT rewards. You can complete challenges and unlock these exclusive moment NFTs. You can treat Top Shot like the best of daily fantasy sports. So head on over to NBA Top Shot. Check it out. And look, $9, you do a starter pack. You just get into that community. Check it out. Top Shot. It's a new way to collect and have some fun here with the NBA. Hey, thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. How about making Locked On Now your second listen every day? Locked On Now is going to get you caught up on the night in the NBA. You get analysis from each side, 2-minute videos or so, 2-minute clips from each side. So you get Locked On Celtics, Locked On Jazz. After this game, you get each side. So check out Locked On Now, wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to watch it, it's on the Locked On NBA YouTube feed. Let's get into some of these individual performances because there were a lot in this game, and I want to give everybody as much due as I possibly can. Tatum and Brown, like I said, super efficient. You had Jayson Tatum, 26 points on 9 of 15 shooting, 5 of 8 from 3, 3 of 3 from the line, 3 assists, a block, 26 points for Jaylen Brown, 10 of 17 for him, 3 of 6 from 3, 3 of 4 from the line. Jaylen Brown had 5 assists. This is one of these things where on some nights Jaylen hasn't been getting assists, on some nights he will. And this was a night where he did. He made a lot of plays, and whether you're the guy that initiates the ball movement and the ball like swing, and the third guy who touches the ball gets it, or you're the first guy or you're like the third guy to get it and you swing or you drive and kick, whatever, it's going to be different. So in this one, Jaylen Brown was, of the two, the guy who got more assists. Also getting a lot of assists, Marcus Smart, who had 13 assists, which is as many as the entire Utah Jazz team had. 13 assists for the Jazz, 13 from Marcus Smart. He had 9 of them in the first quarter. That was kind of wild. And then people will say, John, of course he had 9 assists. They didn't miss for the first 8 minutes. So yeah, there were a lot of assists. Yes, there were a lot of assists. When the ball goes in, there are going to be assists. However, There are games where guys get hot. You just dribble, 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 pull up, you hit threes. Guys can ISO or have unassisted shots. The fact that Marcus had 9 assists in the first half or first quarter isn't just the function of the shot going in. Yes, the shot going in, you need the shot to go in to get the assist. But the fact that every one of those that went in, they were 10 of 10. They were 10 of 10 in that first quarter, in that first stretch. And overall in the first quarter, the Celtics shot 15 of 19. They had 13 assists. Marcus Smart had 9 of them. The fact that so many of these ended up in assists should tell you that the ball is moving a lot, because it wasn't just a bunch of shots just falling. It was the ball moving, and the result of the shot falling was the assist happening. You know what I mean? You follow me? If the ball wasn't moving, they were just hot, and a team can go 15 of 19. But 15 makes and 13 assists just shows you how many times that ball moved, and then they got hot. And that's how you rack up 13 assists in the first quarter and 37 overall in the game. Ball movement was extraordinary. And Marcus Smart as the point guard, hey, I just keep running my victory lap. Just keep going. I'm running multiple laps. Marcus Smart, point guard of this team, 13 assists, 3 shots, 3 field goal attempts. I had somebody on Boston Sports Journal say, well, Marcus Smart always used to think he was Steph Curry, and he used to pass like it was Magic Johnson. Like the pass, the assist, he dropped 1 dime to Robert Williams. Like Marcus he throws the same passes he's always been throwing. All right. He's calmed down on his shots because he's now a point guard. This is the role that he was supposed to play, but he hasn't been able to play it. Marcus Smart as the point guard is part of a fully functioning, great offense by the Boston Celtics. You saw it in this game against the Jazz. Al Horford, Robert Williams. Let's combine these two. The defense that these guys played. I mean, overall the defense in this game. You swallow up Jordan Clarkson. You swallow up Mike Conley. Donovan Mitchell somehow got off for 37 points. I didn't realize he had 37 points until the end. I looked up. I was like, wait a second. How did that happen? Very quiet. Eric Pascal, who started but then ended up playing garbage time, which is kind of wild. But the Jazz overall shot less than 40%, 22% from 3. This was kind of like the opposite game from their first matchup. Robert Williams and Al Horford were huge. Blocks like crazy, 7 combined block shots for those two. One of my other favorite stats from this game, 0 block shots until the very, very end, where Hassan Whiteside caught somebody at literally in the last minute of the game. Until then, it was 10 blocks for the Boston Celtics, 0 for the Utah Jazz. So if you throw out that garbage time one, which I will, nothing from Rudy Gobert. Rudy was invisible in this game as well. I know he's the defensive player of the year frontrunner, but he did nothing disruptive for Utah in this game. Horford and Williams, by the way, not only defensively, but offensively, Horford was just huge, hitting some big shots. He was 3 of 5 from 3, all of those timely. Robert Williams obviously catching lobs, 6 of 7 from the field. They combined for 16 rebounds. They combined for 5 assists. When you get to the combination of those two, 21 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 7 blocks, that's a monster frontline number, just monster frontline numbers. Those guys are so great. And the way they play their activity, they really do shrink the floor. It's amazing to watch. Another big performance. Daniel Tice had a stretch in the second quarter. Absolute, utter domination. He literally was all over the floor, walked off the floor to a standing ovation, not full standing ovation, but huge cheers, and half the arena stood up in that second quarter. Daniel Theis was 3 of 3. He hit a three-pointer. He had a huge block shot. Jordan Clarkson tried to dunk on him, and Theis said, nope, blocked the dunk and sent it the other way. Celtics scored, I think, on the other end. Theis was a plus 12 in the second quarter. He had 7 points. That was a really huge stretch for Daniel Theis. That was amazing to watch. To have him in and starting to get acclimated is a big deal. That's a major emphasis for Ime Udoka. Now when you have your playoff matchups, if Theis can kind of keep ascending over the next few weeks and pick things up a little bit more, now if somebody gets into foul trouble or if somebody tweaks something and you throw Daniel Theis in there, much less disruptive. So that's a big thing. Payton Pritchard, 17 for his last 24 from 3, which is 71%. In this game, Payton Pritchard was similarly hot, hitting. What did he hit, John? He hit 3 of 4 from 3. I'm just waiting for my box score to refresh. 11 points. I was looking at the second quarter box score, and then I had to go to the fourth quarter box score. It took a second to refresh. 11 points, 3 of 4 from 3, 4 of 6 overall. Payton Pritchard just calmly being a sniper, to borrow the term from Aaron Nesmith, an absolute sniper from deep. And maybe his best moment was defensively against Jordan Clarkson midway through the fourth quarter. Celtics are walking away with this thing. It's kind of garbage time at this point. Still had Derek White in the game, but we're winding down. We're winding towards garbage time. Pritchard guarding Clarkson, just sliding, staying in front, knowing that Clarkson wasn't going to give it up, didn't want to give it up, and just stayed in front of him and ultimately forced a turnover that turned into a Derek White dunk. And then when the Jazz called timeout, first person out, Marcus Smart, chest bumping Payton Pritchard for the defensive effort. Now I criticize him because not criticize, but it is what it is. He's a little bit of a defensive liability, but not like this. Not in that moment. That was awesome. He tries hard. I just wonder, he'll be picked on in the playoffs if they keep trying that. But in this one, that was an amazing defensive effort. And shout out to Derek White. Just mentioned him, 2 of 3 from deep, which is the best news I think offensively that we can get from him. 2 of 3 from deep. If he can start to hit some of these 3-pointers, then watch out, really watch out. And that leads me into the Celtics offense, which I will talk about when I come back. First, BetOnline, March Madness. We're getting ready to get back into these games. And BetOnline, if you want to go lay some money down on your favorite team, maybe your alma mater, check it out. See what the latest odds are. Player props, contests. BetOnline is the #1 source for all your sports betting needs and information. You got scores, podcast news, futures, everything on the betonline.net. Obviously, not just basketball. Baseball is coming back. So you got baseball you can bet on. You've got UFC. You got hockey. You get your favorite Vegas casino games. It's all right there. Head on over to BetOnline. Check it out. Use your mobile device. You can learn about the trends, the action. It's all there. BetOnline. It's where the game starts. Please gamble responsibly. This Boston Celtics offense is really clicking. And clicking in a way that I just didn't expect, right? The formula for the Celtics all season was supposed to be great defense and an offense that you hope that the defense can lead to some points because the shooting is going to be iffy. And, you have some good nights, have some bad nights. You're not going to outscore anybody. So hopefully the defense can carry you on nights where your offense isn't clicking. That's basically, I would say, how people felt about the Celtics. Now, all of a sudden, best offense in the league since the All-Star break. And they've lost 3 times in February and March. So March is almost over. They've only lost once this month. They lost twice in February. That's an absolute I can't even comprehend how the Celtics are doing this. And so was really asking the guys after the game, so how do you get to this? Because look, normally there's something dramatic that happens when there's this big of a turnaround, especially offensively, for a team that's not supposed to be a good offensive team. Now, the most dramatic thing was you traded away Dennis Schroeder, you traded away Josh Richardson, and that certainly helped. There's no doubt that helped because Marcus Smart became the full-time point guard no matter what. But also the Celtics getting healthy, because part of why Schroeder played so much was everybody was kind of hurt. And so they threw him in there, and you needed somebody who was proven to go in there. Fine. Not a problem. But that did impact the offense. But it's not just Schroeder. It's not just the fact that Schroeder's out, Smart's in point guard. There's no worry about that. And you bring in Derek White, and that fits a little bit better. Now everything's going crazy. It's not just that. That helps. It certainly helps. I've been a believer in Marcus Smart, the point guard. You can go back to the beginning of the season and see I'm on record all over the place as saying, I believe in Marcus Smart, the starting point guard. I think he can work and blah, 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 blah. Here I am. I'm correct. Everyone else who thought otherwise is wrong. That's as simple as I can put it. Marcus Smart's a good starting point guard, but that's not it. That's not just it. It's everything. And Jaylen Brown kind of summed it up. He said, everything takes time. Everybody wants everything to work right away, but new team, new coaching staff, kind of working through some things, trying to figure some things out, watching a lot of film, just making sure that we keep believing in ourselves. Nothing different, nothing in particular, just growth and getting better. And I want to be like, well, it's not just growth and getting better. That's very cliche, but he's actually right. He's right. That's kind of what it is. The Boston Celtics, okay, yes, again, Schroeder's out, Smart's in. There's a little bit of an adjustment there. And Derek White helps move things along. It's not a ball stopper, all of that stuff. That's great. But the Celtics saw things that were going wrong. They looked at it. They analyzed it. They found a way to fix it. And they did. And it's that simple. There's no great secret to this offense. Did Ime Udoka come up with great plays? Oh my God, look at this. Look at these 2-3 plays that they're running. They score every time. No, same thing. They do the same thing. When there's a zone, they figured out some ways to attack the zone. Utah tried to go zone and it didn't work. What they do is they post up Jayson Tatum at the top. They kind of get him on sometimes it's a switch, sometimes it's against the zone. And, you cut behind that and he makes a play. You figure out different ways to attack things offensively. And over the course of time, with repetition, these guys start to build up some trust. When you have the same 5 guys out there in the starting lineup and the same subs coming in, and they're happening at the same time, and you've watched and you say, okay, we saw this on film. We got to do this. You go out there, you work on it a little bit in practice or in a shoot around, and then you go on the floor and you do it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But the more you try it, the more you build up the confidence, the more you, just like anything, just like riding a bike. The first time you ride it, you fall. And then the second time you ride it, you fall again. But maybe you get a 5 feet longer. Maybe you're on it for another 30 seconds before you fall. And eventually you just learn how to ride a bike. Some people learn how to ride a bike and they start doing jumps and wheelies and all that other stuff. And that's where the Celtics are. They were falling off the bike at the beginning of the season. And now they're doing X Games stuff. This offense is all unreal what they're able to do because everybody's playing the right way. And it's as simple as Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum. Oh, you want to double us? No problem. We're going to move the ball. And someone else is going to attack and you're going to be like, oh crap, we got to go help this person now because, we were over here. There's 2 of us on Jayson Tatum. Now we got to go help this guy. And then Jayson Tatum moves to a different spot. The ball moves. The player moves. How many times have I said this? Move the ball, move yourself. It's one thing. You can swing the ball around the perimeter all the time. You go, oh, we're gonna just go left to right. And yeah, you get it side to side, but eventually, if you're not doing anything else, team can just like stand there. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Whatever. Who cares? The Celtics are like Tatum has embraced. You want to double me? No problem. I'm going to draw the double team. I'm going to step out a little bit and I'm going to whip this pass. And if it's Jaylen that gets it, he can attack. And if it's Grant that gets it, he can shoot. And Grant's learned how to attack. And Rob is there to catch lobs. And Al Horford is there, and he's starting to hit threes. And it's just flowing. And so much of this is tied to their defense being so good. Because when their defense is that good, there's multiple prongs here. The defense is good. So you get out and run. So you get some easy baskets. You also get out and run, and you're not up against a set defense. So Rudy Gobert is not in the middle. I said this in the last show. Rudy Gobert is not in the middle. You can, if he's trailing the play, you can now attack. If you're out there and you're running, you're going against a confused defense. Maybe you can make one pass, two passes, and somebody loses sight of who they're supposed to have. And there are easy opportunities there. It also gets guys into a rhythm. Okay, feel good. I see the ball go in. I'm getting some easy looks. I'm getting some shots that fall. And so I feel good about that. It also, the defense gets you energized because there's like a carrot or a cookie at the end of this. So, okay, no problem. You want me to go defend and do all this stuff? I know I'm going to get rewarded with points afterwards. That's what the Celtics are doing. They're just playing hard defense, and it's leading to good offense. Remember at the beginning of the season when we used to say, "Oh, this defense is leading to bad offense because the offense is leading to bad defense." Well, now it's the flip side. The offense is no longer leading to bad defense. It's the defense that's leading to good offense. The Celtics offense has been spectacular. There's some level of Tatum and Brown being just hot that, like I mentioned before, that fuels this, but also the way they're playing, it makes it easy to sustain. So maybe you don't beat the Utah Jazz by 30 or 28. You beat them by 18 or 8. And because Tatum and Brown are super like blistering hot, okay, fine. You're blowing teams out. But if you just play the right way, more often than not, the ball is going to go in. You're going to find ways to score. And it's not always going to be pretty. There are going to be some games where the shots aren't falling. You got to find a way to grind it out. But just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. Build that repetition, build that chemistry, the confidence, and things are going to work out. Things are just going to work out. They've been working out, and I don't know. I keep looking for a ceiling to this, and I don't see one. The Celtics beat the Jazz by 28. They're a game and a half out of first, and they have now 3 days off before another tough back-to-back. But at this point, what's the limit? Where does it end? I don't know where it ends. Do I expect them to lose anymore? I can't expect them to lose anymore, which is wild to me. Minnesota's tough, but you should beat Minnesota. You should beat everybody. There's no team left on this schedule that the Celtics can't beat. They've beaten them all. Well, that was fun. Now, tomorrow, I'll have Tom Westerholm back. We'll talk a little bit more. How about Jayson Tatum for MVP? I think there's a case to be made. Jayson Tatum for MVP, at the very least in the conversation. I'll talk about that tomorrow with Tom. We'll get into Jayson Tatum MVP discussion tomorrow with Tom Westerholm. It's going to be a fun show. So make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcast. Watch the show on YouTube. We're happy to have you on YouTube. Just crossed 4,500 subscribers, so 500 more. If the Celtics can catch fire, so can Locked On Celtics with the subscribers. So would love to get up to 5,000 over the next few weeks before the regular season ends. So I need your help. If you can, share the podcast. Tell your friends. Tell everybody. They should be listening to and watching the show on YouTube. listen, watch the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network.